Actually, he was crying in there, making woman gestures like,
Oh, there he is. Here he comes. Who else but Iron Mike Tyson? Man, that's a lot of belts. This was Tyson's first defense since unifying the title back in August, and he was not about to give it up to the likes of Biggs. But don't let the robe from MC Hammer's garage sale fool you. By the fall of '87, this gigantic Olympic gold medalist was the top contender in the world, having beaten the likes of Lennox Lewis and James Quick Tillis. Tyrell had been running his mouth non-stop before the fight, saying Tyson had never fought anyone with equal talent, blah-blah-blah-blah. What? This is Tyson in his prime we're talking about. No one had equal talent. But the disrespect didn't stop there. Notice Biggsy's game plan, prance around and act like a fool. Did more dancing that night than Jennifer Beals in Flashdance. And notice how he's keeping his arms down, practically daring Tyson to show off his legendary hand speed. Not very respectful or smart. But the champ that he is, Tyson stayed methodical, landing the odd blow here and there, but mostly content to let Biggs tire himself out. And then came the 7th round. The clinches came more frequently, almost as if Tyson was whispering to Biggs, "I hope to have your affairs in order, because I'm about to annihilate you mercilessly." Watch him climb the ladder with a left and fell this mighty oak. Timber! Right through the ropes. Afterwards, Tyson admitted to prolonging this fight because he enjoyed teaching Biggs a lesson for all his smack talk. But now, it's all but over. Tyrell has no legs left. Go ahead, Mike. Put a ball on this package. Good-gosh. Same punch, same place, same result. How about an encore presentation? You can only dance so long. Sooner or later, you have to go toe-to-toe. And thus ended the ascendancy of the talented big mouth, Tyrell Biggs. Of course, Mike's not above a little smack talk of his own.
when I was hitting him with body punches, and I heard him, actually, he was crying in there, making woman gestures like,
Difference is, he saves it for after the fight. And he's Mike Tyson, one of the kings of the ring. Albany, New York, May 23rd, 1985. He has one of the most devastating right hands in boxing history. I'm talking about that guy in the white trunks, Iron Mike Tyson.
I don't plan to go in there and knock the guy out and kill a guy in 10 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever. I just go in there and do my best. And what happens seems to happen.
In his prime, the undisputed baddest man on the planet. They call him Kid Dynamite, and he's a nuclear power plant packed into a compact and ripped frame. In only his third pro fight, Mike's coming off of 2 devastating first-round knockout victories. Tonight, hoping to derail this runway train, is 8-year veteran Don Halpin. Halpin's one of those journeyman guys, good skills, so-so results. He comes into this one riding a 3-fight losing streak. But incredibly, Halpin's been hanging tough and he's taken Tyson into the 3rd round. So far, Mike hasn't been able to get inside and tag Halpin with one of his trademark bombs. But as round 4 begins, Tyson's done fooling around and hits Halpin with a big right. Oh, the crowd can smell it now. This is what they've been waiting for the kid to unload. Tyson zeroes in on Halpin and a crunching left followed by a right, and the bigger man goes down. The ref steps in and gives Halpin a breather. But when you're in the ring with that other guy, you ain't got time to breathe. Tyson delivers the pain trifecta. A vicious left, a stinging right to the jaw, and a brutal uppercut that I can feel from here. That was back in 1985. Tyson scores his 3rd KO in a row. He'll knock out 41 more guys before he calls it quits. Baddest man on the planet? You don't see me arguing. Labor Day weekend 1986, and Mike Tyson is about to go to work. It's his first ever fight in Vegas, and his last one ever as an up-and-comer trying to prove himself.
Of course, he was already the people's champ. No one put butts in the seats like Tyson, then or since. You get the feeling the extent of his superstardom was just beginning to dawn on him.
I'm always mentally prepared to fight for the title, always. I'm just an athlete trying to accomplish the objective of being the best in your field.
The sacrificial lamb for this occasion, Alonzo Ratliff. Of course, at 6'5", 201, it was more like a sacrificial giraffe.
The troubleshooter, Ratliff.
Ratliff was a great cruiserweight, probably would have been a decent power forward, come on, but a heavyweight contender? Not so much. He did have one of boxing's better stare-downs, however. Not to mention clownishly large feet. Look at those size 17 showstoppers. Give us a little tap dance there, Spider. Back in May, Mitch Blood Green went the distance with Tyson by running laps around the ring for 10 rounds.
Here, Ratliff is actually running. He's not actually boxing and moving and utilizing the ring.
Ratliff figured he'd try that strategy rather than stand and trade leather with the baddest man on the planet. But in the words of Joe Louis, you can run, but you can't hide. Mike caught up to Ratliff midway through the second and stunned him with this seismic short left. Bop! As Ratliff gets to his feet, check out Tyson looming in the neutral corner. How menacing is that sight?
9.
Not a lot of incentive to stand up for Zoe, but he did, so give him credit for cojones. But this one was all over but the paperwork. Sign here, initial here, and gagush here. Wow, there you have it. Deal closed. Let's go back and take another look at that first big blow. Tyson, always aggressive, always moving forward, just unleashes the unnatural fury. Twang! Somebody check his glove. I think there's a frying pan in there. And here's another look at the finishing flurry. Mike's just dribbling Ratliff off the ropes. At least 5 solid dome rockers in there before it's all done.
Huge right hand!
Unreal. 2 months later, in this very room, Tyson would smack the belt out of Trevor Berbick's hands to officially become the champ. But tonight, he was already on top of the world.
I have no doubt in my mind that I could go 10 or 15 rounds. I have no worry. I'm never worried. I'm Mike Tyson, and there's no one like me.
November 22nd, 1986. We're in Vegas, baby, to witness one of the most incredible forces ever to tie on a pair of gloves. Mike Tyson. But this match in the middle of the Nevada desert's gonna be his biggest test yet. He's taking on the reigning WBC World Champion, Trevor Berbick. The 34-year-old Berbick has beaten 3 world champions in his incredible career, but somehow he's not even favored in this one. Get this. The champ comes in to defend his title as a 4-1 underdog. That's how awesome this Tyson kid is. It's only the first round and, oh my, Tyson wastes no time and staggers the champ. At 20 years old, if Mike can stop the bigger Berbick, he'll become the youngest heavyweight champion in history. Skipping ahead to round 2, Berbick tries to tie Tyson up, but somehow keep the beast at close range so he can't unload on him. But pow-pow! Mike rocks him with a vicious combo. He's got to be woozy after that crushing cup of punch Tyson just served him. Oh, and Kid Dynamite connects with a straight left-right between the eyes. He's got the champ on the ropes, looking to put him on life support. Nadoosh! Boom goes Kid Dynamite.
Berbick struggles to get to his feet, but tumbles backwards into the ropes. His legs are completely gone from that one dynamite punch.
All right, first Tyson sets the pain table with a killer right that's kidney-licious. Berbick feels the breeze from a missed uppercut, then feels the pain from a sweeping left hook. Oh, that's got monster migraine written all over it. The Vegas crowd goes nuts. The champ has just rolled snake eyes and crapped out. You think Tyson knew how to bring it? They don't make him like this guy anymore. He was arguably the most devastating force to ever step into a ring. The man they called Iron Mike, the baddest man on the planet, made boxing history one concussion at a time. July 11th, 1986, and the kid from Catskill, Mike Tyson, is already blasting his way through the heavyweight ranks.
I feel I am the best fighter in the world right now.
This 20-year-old terror in trunks is undefeated in 23 bouts, a brutal 21 by knockout. You have to have a death wish to climb into the ring with this guy. And tonight, that honor goes to Lorenzo Boyd. A fighter known more for padding other guys' records, Boyd does have a pretty decent right. And there's no question this warrior can take a punch. The only question is, can he take what Tyson can dish out and live to tell about it? Oh! And a quick right uppercut finds a home on Boyd's face. The thing about Tyson you sometimes forget is as big a slugger as he was no slouch when it came to defense. Guys just couldn't get in to tag him. But for Iron Mike, that was no problemo. Tyson nailed Boyd with a flurry of blistering body shots. Boyd's fight plan is to stay close. Don't give Tyson any room to unload. Yeah, but life isn't the only thing that happens while you're busy making other plans. Shakanaka! Boyd is sent off into the void to cuddle up with the canvas. Check out this combo platter of punishment. First, Mike delivers a liver buster with a chin tag chaser. Then with a look in his eyes that's giving me the willies, a quick left, right, and a ridiculous uppercut that almost turns Boyd's head into a jack-in-the-box. Boyd would go on to fight 80 more fights before calling it quits. None more memorable than this little pain picnic with the future baddest man on the planet. There he is, Kid Dynamite, one of the old-time greats, Michael Gerard Tyson. The surprise loss to Buster Douglas 10 months earlier notwithstanding, he was still the baddest man on the planet. Tonight, he'd be looking to further rebuild his reputation at the painful expense of one Alex Stewart. This British bad boy was known as the Destroyer, and not for nothing either. He reeled off 24 straight victories by knockout to start his pro career. Stewart didn't know it, but he was about to witness boxing history firsthand. In fact, no one in Trump Plaza that night had any way of knowing at the time, but tonight marked the turning point of Tyson's career. Right after this apex, the epic hero's steep slide to Circus Town began. But for one last glorious night in New Jersey, Mike Tyson was still the Mike Tyson.
Try to keep Tyson occupied. If he stops throwing, he'll be dead.
And boy was he. Gagosh. 7 seconds in, and this one is basically over. Two words come to mind when you talk about Tyson: quickness and menace. And both are in full effect here. He hammers home the big right, and the Destroyer is basically destroyed. Listen, Stewart's no tomato can. He was a number 4 contender in the world, and he was going to soldier on best he could here. But really, I mean, it was pretty pointless. Welcome to Gagush 2, Electric Boogaloo. That was just a glancing blow at best, but it landed in the exact same spot as the previous bomb. So I think his body went down on instinct.
You can see that by this time, Stewart still wobbly from the first knockdown.
Tyson smells blood in the water. He attacks relentlessly until finally stopping it all with a heavy-powered left uppercut. Ka-ching! Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
And my objective, I was in great shape. He was to go in there and put the pressure on him for 10 rounds. I knew I had to break him.
After tonight, Tyson would collect 11 more wins, 5 more losses, and 1 face tattoo. But we'll always remember him like this. Truly, one of the kings of the ring.
If anybody saw all of my fights, I don't get hit. I yet to have a bloody nose. I never had marks on my face. As anybody could see, I'm almost a master at invading the punches coming at me.
Atlantic City, New Jersey. 10-1 you don't make it. October 9th, 1985. One of the most pivotal nights of Mike Tyson's young career. He's already knocked out the first 8 fools who stepped to him professionally, but most of them in the first round. But the experts thought this one was going to be different. They were all smitten with a guy named Donnie Long. Long is an interesting character. He used to wear a spiked dog collar way before punk rock was popular. And he'd already done hard time in prison for murder. He was a 6'2" one-man wrecking crew with a 12-0 record. Had Kid Dynamite finally met his match? Hardly. 37 seconds in, Tyson practically knocks him through the ropes with a wicked left. Hey, how you doing?
Tyson slips a punch and lands his own powerful left.
During his standing 8 count, you can tell Long is stunned, and someone smells blood in the water.
Tyson unleashing deadly combinations. Long is hurt.
26 seconds, and about 1,000 punches later, Donnie Long is down again, and he really should have stayed there.
He tells the referee he's okay.
Because now Tyson's got him locked in his sights. He plans on introducing him to the left hook twins. One of them is named Ga, and the other's named Gush.
2 left hooks, and Long crumbles. It's all over.
Mike Tyson makes short work of Long, putting him on his keister 3 times in the first 88 seconds. First, with a pile-driving left hook from, like, the center of his soul. Next, with this vicious combo platter. Oh, a head-snapping left, a pair of blocking right uppercuts, topped with another crisp, zesty left. Mwah! And finally, the coup de gouge. Yet another emphatic left hook. Ouch. That knockout must have knocked some sense into him. He turned his life around after this fight and became a minister. True story. So there you have it. The kid's winning streak stayed intact and would stretch on for another 28 fights, too. And that's what makes Mike Tyson one of the kings of the ring. Atlantic City, New Jersey. 10-1 you don't make it. The standing room only crowd at the Atlantis Hotel and Casino would come out to see an incredible fighting machine. The man in the white trunks, Iron Mike Tyson.
My shots are so accurate and so precise, not to be egotistic, but when they land, they're so precise, I just can't help it who you are. You have to go down.
At this point in his young career, Tyson's undefeated and on his way to becoming arguably the most devastating force in boxing history. Johnson's a journeyman fighter making a comeback after being out of the game for 2 years. And all Tyson's got to say about that is, welcome back to the ring, Jack. But who? Iron Mike serves up a lethal left to the liver. Oh, Tyson digs that left hook right into the ribs and Johnson goes bye-bye. Oh, that's the kind that shatters bones, folks. At this point, Johnson's got to be thinking, who the heck talked me into coming back against this guy? But that's just the appetizer in Iron Mike's little punishment buffet. Gugush. Brutal right hand, Johnson's jacked. As Johnson foolishly tries to get back into this fight, he runs into the relentless Tyson freight train. Iron Mike pounds him with one of the most vicious right hands you'll ever see. Oh, baby, can you say jawbreaker? Once again, Tyson scores another brutal first-round beatdown, his 8th straight knockout victory. Mike didn't even break a sweat. He may have to run around the boardwalk just to get his night's work in. And Johnson, this guy still doesn't know what hit him. Well, you know what? If it's any consolation, pal, you got beat by the very best. 5 more losses and 1 face tattoo. But we'll always remember him like this. Truly, one of the kings of the ring.
It's time to recognize the true boxing giants. All hail the kings of the ring.